Okay, everyone ready? Yes. Okay. Welcome. Well, congratulations on getting to the semifinals of Anonymous A's are defending the affirmative side, while Anonymous Kopolos are defending the negative side. On the motion, all publicly funded organizations and bodies should exclusively use open source software when available. I will also be timekeeping for you, so pay attention. But other than that, I would like to invite the first speaker of the affirmative team.
Hello everybody, my name is Alexander Velikis and I want to open this semi-final. At first, our topic is all publicly funded organizations and bodies should use open source software when it's available and when it's possible. Okay, I want to clear our topic. At first, publicly funded organization is an institution which usually provides services to general public funded by taxpayers. Second, open software is software that is accessible for free, extremely customizable and usually developed by grassroots business, not attached to profit-making companies. And third, unavailable. Unavailable when it isn't available or does not fulfill expression of public administration, such as security, when this publicly foundation organization can choose traditional software. It will be clear. We don't speak about hospitals. We don't speak about top secrets information, because we speak only about this moment when it's possible to choose available public software. Let's speak about our contention. Our first contention is open source software prevent taxes paid from wasted. Second contention is government should promote and support software that's accessible for majority of people. And our third contention is support innovation and stimulate innovation of technology. Let's speak about our first contention. In status quo today, lots of money are wasted to the private companies like Apple and Microsoft, who spend this money to build some software to companies. Lots of taxes money. Why we should pay money for this software if our free software is not worst? It's similar. Why we should pay lots of millions of dollars schools paid to Microsoft to have Windows at school? Why we have to waste this lots of million dollars? Why? I think we don't have to do it. We have to support free contention for everybody. We have to support free contention and it will be better. And second point about it, that in some ways, like post office or like some schools, contention need to customize. You cannot use similar windows in post office. And if you, as post office, ask Microsoft for operation system to post offices, they will extremely expensive, because Microsoft made lots of money to create this new software for this post office, and that's the benefit of open source, because it's extremely customized. You may do everything with your Linux, you may do everything with your Ubuntu, and you may do it on your own without any paid. If you see in this contention, I said that we economy lots of money. We may build lots of schools. We may upgrade our economy only about using and support open source contention. We don't have to spend lots of money to this private company. My first, and it will be responsible for government. And second contention about accessible for everybody, because open source contention is accessible for everybody. Guy in some developing country may use this. They don't have to pay. It's government should support not this minority of rich people who may buy the Windows, who may buy the MacBook. Government should support majority of poor people. And it's open source because it's accessible for everybody. It's free, and everybody may download his Ubuntu, may download his Linux and use it for free. Why government should support these rich companies? Why government should support this monopolization or market? We don't know, and we think that it will be really good for developing country, because developing country has no money to buy the Windows. Some countries in Central Africa can't buy the Windows, but they can download Ubuntu. They can download Linux for free and use it in their schools, and it will be better. I think 10 computers with Linux is better than one with Windows, because it's accessible for everything, and we support this position. Our third contention about stimulate innovation in technologies, because lots of people who create this open source software are not businessmen. They like professor at university. They create research for research. They create this software for the idea and not for money. And the main thing for them, not money, but popularity. And when we support it, when governments will use it in their public funded places, these guys will create more software. We don't have to support these monopolies who monopolize or win our market. We should support simple professors, simple creators, like a creator of Ubuntu, like creator of Wikipedia, like creator of Linux, because it will be very good for developing country. It's very good for these individuals, because if I, guy from Canada, build some software, good software, and people, maybe somebody somewhere in Russia will use it, I will happy, and I'll do more and more, because I'm happy. I know that my work isn't worth, and people use my work, and it will be very good for creation new contention. We support this guy who do free goods for people. We don't support Bill Gates. We don't support Bill Gates. We don't support Steve Jobs, yeah, thank you, thank you everybody, yes. I forgot his name. And we don't support this rich guy who wants to steal your money using this Windows or Mac. We support Linux, we support free for everybody. We support majority of free people and not rich majority and minorities.
Thank you to the first affirmative speaker.
Okay, but I love it. Okay, sorry.
Hi, thank you very much for your speech. First of all, what exactly is open source?
As I said, open source contention is contention who may extremely customized and always free. Open source contention in this program that you may download for internet for free.
Can you give me an example?
Yes, sure. It's Linux, it's Ubuntu.
Okay. First of all, if open source is so good, why are companies not using it in the status quo?
Why do you think companies don't use the status quo?
That's the question.
I may say it in the two ways of this. At first, some companies like school in Russia use the Linux in their computer class and it's okay. And second, I know why they use it, because the huge companies like Apple, like Microsoft, has a huge advertisement. Everybody knows Apple. Everybody knows this symbol of Apple or Windows.
And do these private companies as Apple and Windows have the right to make profit from their own inventions?
Yes, but they don't have the right to monopolize all market. They don't have the right to take money from the simple guys who built the second from simple text pay guys.
But you do
they
believe,
don't have to steal money from society.
I'm asking the question here. You do believe that they invest in their companies and that they should get money out of it. So, second question, do you think that companies who are funded by the government have a right to decide how they want to run their company?
Okay, at first, let's speak about it. These companies was founded by government. These companies use taxes for their upgrade. These companies live by money of citizens. And I think the citizens won't pay money for the Microsoft Windows or Apple who costs lots of money.
So are you saying they have a right in their own country to say how to run it, or do they not have a right? Do they have a right, yes or no?
What kind of right?
Do they have a right to say how they want to run the company, who they want to hire, which software they want to use? Do they have a right to say how they want to run their own company?
Okay, it will be a very, very simple example of it. You are the school director, you are the leader of school, and yeah, you have some rights in your school, but if
you have rights in your school.
May I finish my answer? I'm answering now. Don't took my freedom of speech.
You say they have a right to
They
say
don't
something.
have the right if the government says something. If government says that you have to pass the government exams, all school will pass it because
so
it's government.
So we are
school.
taking all the rights of the private companies away. That's what you're saying. They do not have any rights. They do not have the right to choose who is working in their companies. We are taking all the rights of the private companies away.
They have only local rights, and when
you
government says something,
yourself.
they have to follow government.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before moving on to refutation, we have two problems with team proposition. Firstly, they come up and said, well, these companies have no rights. They will follow the government whatever the government tells them to do. The question that we have with them is then, why did you have these companies decentralized? Why do you give them any rights at all? Why do, when you give endowments to universities, you still allow them to choose who studies in their school, how much fee they're going to charge, what kind of professor they're going to hire? Because, ladies and gentlemen, you realize that they know these policies better than do. That the reason why you have them in the first place is because they're more efficient at doing what they want to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, in their model, you will have the government controlling everything, ladies and gentlemen. So, the purpose of providing that service, which was to provide a minimum quality of service, ladies and gentlemen, will not happen. So, what will happen is, ladies and gentlemen, people being deprived of that service. Secondly, said, well, we will not have this in the case of hospitals and top secret information. If your policy is about giving this to every public company, then what's so different between a hospital and a transport company? They say, ladies and gentlemen, we will not have it for the hospitals. Thus, they principally concede to the fact fact that open source software is not qualitatively good enough as compared to the other softwares. Similarly, for top secret info, they will not have the same softwares, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because they concede to the fact that these other softwares are more efficient, thus they do the job, ladies and gentlemen, and that is what the purpose of the company is primarily, to do the job in the most efficient manner. With that, ladies and gentlemen, now let's tackle the three arguments that they did have. Firstly, they said, well, open source prevents wastage because you're wasting money, ladies and gentlemen. We believe you're not wasting money, because at the end of the day, there are certain rights which exist with these companies because these companies know where to spend. So for example, in the case of a university, where you do not tell them which professor to hire or which professor not to hire. Why? Because you realize, ladies and gentlemen, that even if you're spending some more money, what you're getting is more quality. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, in the case of these services, quality matters more. And that's what we're telling you, ladies and gentlemen. This is a right which inherently exists with these companies, and governments cannot take that away. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, we believe the quality of open source is simply not up to the standard of these other services, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because of two reasons. Firstly, we believe, ladies and gentlemen, that the people investing in open source don't have enough of an incentive. As they themselves, so these are people who do research for the sake of research, ladies and gentlemen. They don't have enough time. They're not targeted towards researching, ladies and gentlemen. On the other hand, you have companies like Apple, like Microsoft, having huge research and development departments, ladies and gentlemen, entirely dedicated to making sure that their softwares are more efficient, making sure that their softwares are more effective. So simply, ladies and gentlemen, the quality of these softwares are not up to the mark. Therefore, we cannot have cheap alternatives. You cannot have cheap parts in an airplane simply because they're cheap, ladies and gentlemen. If people are not benefiting out of it, then there's no point of having that. Thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that even the cheap part that you're talking about does not exist, because when you're shifting your entire databases and your entire system, you will need to retrain workers, ladies and gentlemen, to use these other softwares. So the costs that they're saying you will minimize will not be minimized in their model, because you will have other costs to incur. The cost of retraining workers, ladies and gentlemen. Another cost that we have is that these softwares that you're talking about are not specific at the end of it, ladies and gentlemen. They're a simple model software, common software, which you develop to suit your own needs. So you will need to hire developers, ladies and gentlemen, in order to make sure that these softwares that you're creating are specific and tailor-made to your needs. So the cost that they're trying to minimize at the end of the day will eventually end up being more than even our model. So the cheap part that existed about these open softwares does not exist. Secondly, they said, well, it's better for general public because it's just for general public. We talk about companies here, ladies and gentlemen. Companies are using this software, and companies are maintaining these softwares. The point about access to the general public does not come in. And even if it comes in, ladies and gentlemen, you need to realize this: funds are only there to serve the public, not a specific community. In this case, the open source community, ladies and gentlemen. So simply because you need to promote an idea does not mean that you use the funds of the open community in a wrong manner. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, they said, well, innovation is something that's being promoted in our model because people create research for the sake of research. What you're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is that you're disincentivizing. Firstly, on a principal level, you're taking away the rights of these private companies because they were selling a legal product, but you're taking away this right because you're taking away a huge market which existed with them. So you're disincentivizing companies like Apple and Microsoft, which develop software for these companies in the first place. Thus, competition will not exist in your model. That's the point about innovation. False. With that, ladies and gentlemen, now let's move on to our positive case, which revolves around three ideas. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, how the government does not have a right to encroach upon the mandate of these public companies. Secondly, about how open source software is not qualitative enough. And lastly, the harm to private companies. So first things first, ladies and gentlemen, let's analyze this. The reason why you have public companies being separated from the government in the first place is because you realize that you trust them with administrative responsibility. You give them some rights to run the company, ladies and gentlemen. You give them the choices who to employ, what medicine to give in the case of hospitals. And in this situation, ladies and gentlemen, government intrusion is harmful. Why? Because A, the government is not equipped with the exact needs of what that company wants. The people within the company know better what they want, ladies and gentlemen. The government is a holistic body, not specific to every department. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, these people at the end of the day know where to spend. Therefore, this government interference that you're going to have, it will lead to a decline in the quality of that service, which was the entire point of the creation of that company in the first place. So the purpose that you're trying to promote in the first place will not happen, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we believe it is what is most detrimental, that you're not providing the quality of service that you set out to provide. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to you about how it undermines the purpose of software. We told you, ladies and gentlemen, open source softwares are never tailor-made. Microsoft will make a software for your company which you want, ladies and gentlemen. So what a hospital wants, they will design a software exactly to your needs. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, these softwares are inherently effective because A, they're tailor-made to your needs, and B, they invest more time, they invest more research, they simply have more power behind them, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, they are more beneficial. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, we asked him this question. We asked him, if open source is so effective, why don't people in the status quo use it? The reason why they don't use it, ladies and gentlemen, is because it's simply not effective. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, this entire idea about harming private companies, you need to realize that these private companies who are not open source, it is not their fault, ladies and gentlemen, that you want to promote a certain idea. You cannot stop them and take a market away from them. For all those reasons, because they're not promoting quality, they're not being effective, vote negative.
Thank you to the first negative speaker.
First of all, thank you for your speech. Okay, do publicly funded organizations currently purchase software?
I think they do.
Okay.
Because it's good.
Should these organizations continue to purchase product if an equivalent is available for free?
Like I said, it's not an equivalent because the quality is simply not up to the mark, and it's not even free for that matter because we told you that you will have other costs. So in a cost benefit analysis, A, these companies know better, B, you're losing out either way. So what are you trying to achieve at the end?
But actually, if the open software is minimum okay, are you aware each publicly funded organization, for example, hospitals and universities, need hugely diverse products?
Your point being?
Are you aware that publicly funded organizations like a hospital and universities need diverse products, vastly diverse products? Each of them needs the customized
And that's
products.
what these good companies allow you. They build you a software which is holistic, which is more efficient in the first place, which is what your open source software will never do. It will make just a model and which you will have to improve on eventually. It's not tailor-made to your needs, therefore it will not be beneficial.
Don't you think that it costs a lot of money?
Yes, we do, but we believe that these public companies at the end of the day know what's better for their companies in the first place. And we believe that your open source model is not cheap either because of the cost that we've already mentioned.
But you know that publicly funded organizations are funded by the taxes that the citizens pay. Isn't it better to spend that money not for the private organization to the private sectors to buy private products, but to buy open software?
And that's what they're doing. By making a software which is effective, which is efficient, they're serving the people in the best manner possible, which is the purpose of purchasing software in the first place, to make sure it's efficient and benefits the people.
But actually, if the open source product is beneficial for the government, like for the dead organizations, it is beneficial. Which you will choose, free or you will choose the private?
If it is beneficial, they will choose them. However, you cannot force them to purchase it. Cannot force them to buy it for free simply because you want to on a whim that you have. If people want to choose open source software because they find it more beneficial, they will do that.
Okay, thank you.
How much time do you require? Past.
is our judges ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges and worthy opponents, as the second speaker of the proposition side, we'd like to go over what our opponent said, and then if time allows, I'd like to rebuild on our case. Now, our opponents talked about three main things. Our opponents first talked about the quality and efficiency. Our opponent said that the quality and efficiency will drop. Second, they talked about the incentive. Our opponent said that the incentive will drop. Third, they talked about the right of companies. Our opponent said that every companies have the right to do whatever they want. Now, we'd like to go in each thing and explain why that obviously falls. Our opponent's first refutation to our cases was that the quality will drop. They said that the efficiency will drop because of the fact that the companies are tailor-made. They've claimed that it is more efficient for companies to private sectors because of the fact that they're tailor-made. Honorable Judge, we do not believe in the fact that the quality and the efficiency will drop. We've already explained to you in our first contention that open source software prevents taxpayers' dollars from being wasted. We've also explained to you about the accessibility and it stimulates innovation. Honorable Judge, we believe that our third contention obviously proves that it stimulates innovation. We believe that if it stimulates innovation, more people will be able to develop more software. Honorable Judge, we believe that if people are able to innovate and make more technology, as my first speaker already explained, we believe that there'll be competition, therefore they want more prestige. We believe that this is actually will increase the quality of software inside a specific nation. Not only that, but we believe that the efficiency will not drop. Currently, what our opponents are saying, and they're saying that the quality currently in status quo is very great. We disagree with this fact. The reason why we disagree is for the reason that there are companies that monopolize the marketplace. We believe that when a company gets into a contract with the government, they can never get out of it. Thus, the quality will drop because no matter what they do, they cannot get out of that contract, Honorable Judge. Therefore, we believe that the quality does not drop even if we make open source software. Furthermore, we believe that the quality will actually go up, Honorable Judge, because of the fact that we've already explained to you that people will compete. People will want to be the top. The government will choose one open source software, the other one want to compete with each other, therefore stimulating innovation. Therefore, we believe the quality and efficiency will not drop. The second refutation was of the incentive. Our opponent said that the incentive of the people will drop. We do not believe, because of the fact that we've already explained about the prestige, Honorable Judge, we've already explained to you that people will be more competitive with each other. We do not believe that this will lower incentive. Furthermore, our opponents seem to misunderstand one thing. We believe that we've already explained to you that the purpose of these people is not getting profit, but getting prestige, Honorable Judge. Therefore, what they want is prestige and acknowledgement, we believe that the incentive will go up if more people recognize their work. Therefore, we believe that our opponents' assumption about the incentive will drop obviously false. Furthermore, opponents said something about the right of companies. Our opponents claim that the competition will exist. Honorable Judge, the competition does not exist. My first speaker already proved to you that there's a monopoly over the market. Honorable Judge, we believe that the competition will rise if we use open source software. We believe that the competition today is not efficient enough. We believe that just because we do believe that the government has the right to promote and support the open source software that the individuals created, which is our second contention. We believe that the government as a government should promote and support these governments. Now, on to our opponents' contentions. Our opponents' first contention was that they have no right. Our opponent said that they have a choice and that it is more quality. Our opponents seem to, again, I've already explained that the quality will not drop. The quality will go up, Honorable Judge. All three of our opponents' contention was that no right, the quality, and the harm obviously fall for the three contention. Our opponents already explained to us about the quality, efficiency, incentive, and the right to company. We've already explained to you in our three contention about the taxpayers being wasted. Honorable Judge, we believe that it is more efficient if these citizens use open source software. The reason why it is because of the fact that we've already explained to you that you spend so much money on software. Honorable Judge, we believe that it is more efficient, more better for developing nations as well as developed nations if we use open source software. It is more efficient for the economy. Our second contention was that government should promote support software that are accessible to most citizens. Honorable Judge, we believe that it is especially important that people have accessibility in the open source software. Our Our opponents talked about the tailoring. We've already explained to you that people can customize their software. We believe that is more efficient and less costly if people can customize their own stuff, make it beneficial to themselves, Honorable Judge. Therefore, because of the fact that it is more beneficial, we've already proven to you that it stimulates innovation. We believe that we've won this round. Thank you.
Thank you to the second speaker of the affirmative team.
Do companies in the status quo have a right to choose between open source software and a software made by Apple?
Okay, yeah.
So how is there a monopoly existing if they have the choice and they choose Apple or Microsoft?
Because of the fact that these private companies and the private soft make a contract with the government. The government cannot get out of this. Because of the fact that the government make a contract with these private sectors, they can't get out.
Does anyone force you to make that contract? Is the private company paying you or doing something and tying your hands behind your back?
What?
Is the company forcing you to enter that contract, or you enter the contract willingly? And if you enter a contract, is there not terms and conditions by which you can break it?
We believe that we can't break this contract. We've already explained to you that if a government gets into a contract with the private sector, they cannot break out of this. This is why there will not be any competition.
You obviously live in some other world than we do. But okay, you said we're stopping, our model stops innovation. So would you ban private companies because they stop innovation?
No, we said that if we do open source software, that it stimulates innovation.
No, but would you ban private companies because they monopolize and they stop innovation and they're so bad?
We believe that it is better if we have stimulated innovation.
If private companies are still existing, open source companies are still existing, and we're giving them a choice, then what innovation are you stimulating?
We're stimulating the innovation in the fact that more people will be more incentivized to make more open source software.
What incentive are you increasing which does not exist in the status quo?
The fact that if the government chooses one open source software, then the other people that want to get prestige, want to get acknowledgement, will work more towards it.
But if people still work for prestige and they know that if their software is good, people will still choose it.
But we're saying they will stimulate innovation.
Okay, thank you. Do you believe that these public companies have a right to formulate a law? Do you believe that these public companies have a right to make laws? For example, does a public hospital have a right to choose which medicine it's going to give, how is it going to work and stuff?
A law?
Do they have the right to have administrative policies, these public companies?
Yeah.
No?
No, I did not say, I said yeah.
So they have a right? So do they not know better which software will work better for them?
In the hospitals?
Yes.
No, but we're saying that with the open source software, they don't need to spend money to customize what they want.
But do they not spend money to retrain workers which are used to the other software and money in order to develop the software to customize that to their own needs?
No, it is free. Open source software is free. That's exactly what we're saying. You can customize it, whereas if you don't use open source software, you have to pay more money.
But someone will need to develop the open source software.
The
You need money
people
to
develop
retrain
the
workers.
open source software. That's exactly what we're saying.
Okay, you obviously live in another world. I don't know what you're trying to do. But okay, so you said that in our model there... Oh, thank you.
3 minutes past.
Can I have a word? Like, I am short. I'm just not really. I don't have my glasses today, so when it's time, can you just like hold it up really high? Thank you. Do I start now? So, ladies and gentlemen, what they've the previous two speakers, they didn't really tackle our positive case. The only thing they said that kind of fight our case is that the incentive will drop. But we say that the incentive does not drop. Wait. They said that the incentive will drop. They didn't really tackle anything that we said. But then they say that you cannot go into they say that you cannot break contacts when you have a contact with the government, but we say that the contacts can be break, and because of the fact that the contacts can be break in reality, that's why the companies go for the contacts to the government, because these contacts are more efficient and they're tailor-made. And if you just force a contact on a organization, then the quality will decline. If you force them to give in to a contact that does not serve their need, that will make them to have less will make the quality that those organizations produce to decline. And that's when the government purpose to serve the people fail, because the government fund these organizations to serve the people. But if the government forced these organizations into a contact, and it makes them less effective, then all the point of helping the people fail. And so they always say, and so all their case, firstly they say that this waste of money for software, but we say that it isn't, because the quality matters more. If you need a system, software that, because there are different organizations that serve different needs. If you are a library, if you're a hospital, if you're a school, you need different systems to operate those schools. So you can't just use open source, which is not as good as the softwares that companies produce, which they use, which they are supported by. They know that they're rewarded by those. They know that if they create the best products, then they will be rewarded afterwards. But if these organizations, these schools, these libraries just cannot use the best products to serve the people, then all these purpose of the government to help the people just fail. And so moreover, it's free doesn't mean that it's efficient. These people who create the open source, they use it they create it in their free time. They say, yes, I support the people, I help them to not pay anything, but they don't have anything to support them. I'd rather work like a 9-to-5 work with money paying for me than just like a part of a free time hobby to create another software that will help the people. That doesn't make that product the most effective. It can have inefficiency. It can have faults, and the people don't really care if they have faults in their products. And this does not help poor people to develop. No, because the cheap software is not developed enough to help raise the entire society. And so, if, for example, there's statistics, I work in a statistics company, and there's a very important contract that I need the right statistics, but I use that open source and the statistics are wrong, then I'm fired, right? It does not help anyone.
And they also said that the companies are depriving people from the right to have free open source to help themselves. No, but we say no because those companies, they have incentive when they do when they produce something that is good, they sell it, and if they can't sell it, then after that they do not have enough intention to produce more better goods because they just simply can't sell it. They simply can't make any profit from it because the government doesn't want them to, because the government doesn't, because the government is failing to serve their people. And so for all these reasons, vote negative. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to the speaker of the negative team.
Thank you for your speech, but I still have some questions. Okay, first, is our opponent safe stimulating innovation or competition with low inequality?
I'm sorry, I do not.
Is our opponent says about stimulation, innovation or competition, but low in quality? Quality low.
Yes, there is low quality because those people, they are not paid. The companies,
Okay,
they
okay,
produce
okay.
good
Okay,
stuff
okay,
because
I
they're
got
paid.
your point. Okay, who pay money to public schools or public founded companies? Who pay the money to their work?
Well, the government pays it.
Okay,
but
okay,
because
then.
they need
Who
tailor-made
pay taxes to the government?
the people because they
Okay,
want to be
okay, and
served
the
the
next,
best
you,
way.
you as a simple citizen, you want to less taxes or best school. You want to have 10 computers with Linux and in your school. You want to save your money or to build your life better. As
Well,
a simple citizen.
When I use something, when I pay for something, I pay tax to get the most of it, to have the best
Okay,
service
you
ever.
don't want less tax, yeah?
What do you mean by that?
Taxes will be less, or infrastructure will be better, or will be the loss of computers in school. You don't want to innovation, you want only one computer with Windows in your school against 10 computers with Linux?
Well, if
You-
it's cheap and it's wrong,
You want to wait for your computer or in your informatic
when
lesson
something
about
is cheap
an hour?
and when something is cheap, it doesn't mean that it's cheap. Doesn't mean that it provides the people
Okay,
with the best system.
you don't want to save your money, yeah?
Why don't we want to?
You don't want to save your money, yeah? Okay, to the next point. Is it the government job to promote, support, stimulate innovations? Is it government job to stimulate innovation in their own country?
Well, this does not incentive anything because those people are doing it in their free time. They feel like it and they do it. There's no competition
Okay,
here.
you think that governments don't have to support their own citizens who do something in their free time
serve
and
the
have to
people.
support Steve Jobs who already died
They
or Bill
serve
Gates who live in
the purpose of the
some
government
America?
is to serve the people with the most they can bring them.
Okay, you
And
think that developing countries like some Africa's country or Russia or some others have to support American guys like Bill Gates or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs and don't support their own citizens?
I'm sorry, but those companies, they provide the people with good enough products, and the government have the responsibility to serve the people with those good enough products
You
too.
think that your government have to support these foreign people and don't support, cancel from your own people? You don't want to government support you?
I'm sorry, your time out.
Okay.
passed. Passed. Affirmative.
Hello, dear judges, dear opponents, and dear colleagues. Our opponent seems to want to live in a world where the richer you are, the more expensive a product is. It is better, honorable judges. We believe that it is false. Moreover, the three main clash points in today's debate are quality, incentive, and right to company. Let's speak about the quality. We already explained it in our first and third contention about how its will quality increase. In the first contention, like we have explained, open source software prevents prevents waste of money. And in the third contention, we spoke about innovation stimulates technology. It will stimulate more competition, more innovation. We were speaking about the quality and efficiency, which is better. If we believe that if the quality of the free product is minimum required by the hospitals or universities, then we should use that like free open source. We don't have to use the expensive ones that is harms to the our like waste of the tax money. And another thing, we were speaking about the efficiency. If those tax money which is spent for the buying the like Windows or other programs which is cost a lot, it will be better to use them for the making better the system of the hospitals, the system of the universities, and the system of the public funded organizations, which is better in this case, the minimum quality, the quality or minimum quality, and plus that to get an efficiency. I think that the minimum quality and the efficiency is better in our today's debate. And they were speaking that incentive will lose. But honorable judge, if there is a more competitions, if there is free software are available, then they can use the free softwares to create new programs, to customize the programs which will be used by the public, governmental funded public organizations. And they were speaking about the rights to company. If the company already monopolized by the Apple company, by the other companies which are already selling their products to that company because the government signed the contract, and in this case there is no the right of the company to choose because the free market is already monopolized by that companies which is made it a contract. And by this we want to say that when it is available, it will be better that the companies will use the companies will use the products which is free, and they can easily customize them. Okay, our opponents never didn't respond to our contention about accessible for everyone. It means that everyone can use that program freely, and everyone can create something they want. And another thing, when in the cross-examination, I asked our opponent, should these organizations continue to purchase products if an equivalent is available for free? They were telling us that yeah, they should, but this is wrong, because when there is equivalent is available with the minimum quality, the public companies should use them and save that money which are paying for the expensive programs. They can use for the development of the country, for the development of some projects which will help the society. And today, by these clash points which I provide you, by the contentions which the affirmative side gave you, and we proved that our position is really strong, and I believe that the contentions of our opposition was broken down, and by this I think the today affirmative side won, and we're ready to propose.
Thank you to the last affirmative speaker. Opposition team, you have 3 minutes.
Today I would like to end this debate and tell you why the model the affirmative is proposing is not going to help us. It only has harms and no benefits. I'm going to do this on the hand of two questions. First, is the quality between open source software and the not open software similar? And second, what rights do owners have and what rights do the government have? First of all, about the quality. You say you are promoting the incentive. You are not promoting the incentive. And I'm going to explain you why you are not promoting competition. Competition is not promoted if you take away the not open source. Because in this case scenario, the open source is going to compete with the other open source. There are no research of development departments. There are only volunteers who do not have the proper education and who cannot spend as much time as it because they don't gain anything from it. In this way, there's a restricted progress. And when there's a restricted progress, people will not want to do this anymore. So the competition fades away. They are not going to do this for the prestige because they are not getting prestige. They are not getting anything because there is no competition. And without competition, there is bad quality. And bad quality is the worst we can have. Bad quality also comes because they don't have research development departments. There will be no progress in technology. They will only be bad quality. And you want to save money. Well, let me ask you one thing. What do you want? Do you want quantity or do you want quality? We say we want quality, and quality comes with a price. Yes, it does, but we want to pay this price because we want our organizations to work. We want our organizations to work properly, and therefore we'll have to invest. And if you are using the open source, you have to invest as well, because for further development to come to the needs of the organizations, you have to put more money in it. You are not saving money at all, and you are not giving quality. And what's going to happen if there's not quality? The organizations will not be able to fulfill their jobs. And what happens if they not fulfill their jobs? People are going to die. Because if in the hospitals the organization does not work and people do not get the medicines they need, people are going to die. And this will fail in all organizations. We need quality. We do not want to save money, and therefore it is not the same. You are not providing us quality, and you say we are paying taxes. We are paying taxes for the organization to work, so we want quality back, and you are not giving it. Then the second point is, what rights do owners have and what rights does the government have? The government, of course, has rights. They have the right to interfere when there is harm to the people. And in this case, there is no harm to the people. There is no harm at all. In the status quo, there is innovation, there is competition, there is quality being given to our people. And in your future, in your case, there are harms. People are not going to survive this. The organizations will fail, and this is not what you want, this is not what we want, so therefore we will not force people to use the open sources. And if people want to use this, they can use this because they have a choice. We are not forcing it on them, and therefore there is no monopolizing. And let's make one thing clear. We are talking today about public organizations using software, not about people. So this will in no way be beneficial to the people in developing countries. Then secondly, what are the rights of the owners? The owners have rights in their companies because they know how to run these companies. They have knowledge, they have experience, they are educated to know how to run a company, and therefore we should give them the right to decide what kind of software they need, because they want a working hospital. They want a hospital where not people are dying, and in your future the quality is going to decline. And I already told you why the quality is going to decline, because there's no competition, because there's no incentive, because there are no research and development departments in volunteers. If the government is going to intrude in the decisions of our organizations, this will be counterproductive. There is no quality. There is bad quality, which is going to which is not going to give the people the rights they need. Please understand this. We're giving the people a choice. We're giving the organizations a choice to do what they want. Poor quality service, simply because it's cheap or more available, is in fact cheating on our people. We are denying everyone the quality, the efficiency, and the rights they have, and therefore the government cannot be allowed to do it simply because it's a whim that they have. And therefore we are so proud to oppose, and you should vote for the negatives.
The last speaker of the negative team, please share comments and we'd like to do a break.